Thanks, y'all. Week 10 for college football season is in the books, and it was certainly a doozy. While there were great games all across the country, all eyes were in Louisiana. The number 1 team, Alabama, faced off with the number 13 team, LSU, and it was one for the agers. Smothering defense, multiple NFL prospects, and a great game. What more could you want? It will be a defensive struggle all night, starting with big plays like this from Jamal Adams as he records an interception. Later on, moving into the game, both teams missed field goals. Alabama got back in scoring position with this bomb from Jalen Hurts to Ardarius Stewart. Dante Jackson on the coverage. However, coming up, LSU will come up with a big 4th down goal line stand to keep it all tied up at 0-0. Unfortunately for the LSU defense, they got no help from the offense. In the 4th quarter, Alabama will flex its muscles and finally get on the scoreboard. That touchdown will be all. This upcoming touchdown will be all they needed. The Tide will eventually build their lead to 10-0 and will completely shut down the LSU Tigers as they roll and they continue to be undefeated. That was LSU's 6th loss in a row to Alabama, and the Crimson Tide limited LSU to just 25 yards after the half. The Tide are the clear favorites in the conference and have just one tough contest remaining against Auburn later in the year. Alabama wasn't the only team and the only top team in the land to send a message. Let's take a look at some other notable scores across the country. Number 2, Clemson blasted Syracuse 59-0. Number 3, Michigan blew out Maryland 59-3. Number 6, Ohio State annihilated number 10, Nebraska 62-3. And Arkansas recorded the upset of the week, beat number 11, Florida 31-10. Now, next week's game of the week appears to be a matchup in the Big 12 between number 17, Baylor, as they travel to number 14, Oklahoma, and what could decide the conference champion there. Now, look, I understand we took a look at the national landscape, and I know some of you are asking, but what about the Blue Raiders? MTSU came into last week's game as a near 20-point favorite. It was supposed to be a start of an easy stretch of the schedule, and there was a small possibility that MT could actually get to 10 wins on the season. All they had to do was beat UTSA, which would prove more difficult than they thought. The Blue Raiders will end up falling to the Road Runners, 45-25, in the upset of the week across Conference USA. The MT defense gave up 378 yards and allowed more than 34 points for the 6th time this season. And to add insult to injury, Brent Stockstill broke his collarbone and was replaced by freshman John Urza, who would wind up throwing 3 picks. It was a disappointing result for the Blue Raiders, but a strong finish is still in reach. The final 3 opponents they'll face only have a combined record of 8-19, but they'll need that leaky defense to step up and carry the team without Stockstill. And finally, the second season for high school football started last week. How did the 6A Rutherford County teams fare in the first week of playoff action? Let's take a look at some scores. Number 1 team in the state, Oakland, rolled William Blount 63-0. Smyrna fell to Dobbins Bennett 33-23 in a mild upset. The Blackman Blaze cruised past Jefferson County 41-12, and Siegel fell 48-0 to Science Hill. Riverdale also joined Oakland and Blackman as the only RUCO teams to advance. Stewart's Creek, in his first ever playoff appearance, was actually eliminated by Hillsboro. But going forward, Oakland and Blackman remain the favorites to advance to the state semifinals, where they have to face off with Maryville, who looks to be on path to possibly repeat as state champions. But that's all we have for sports, guys. That's back to you guys at the desk.